Le vendredi 22 mai, au RiverRock Inn and Conference Center, une collecte de sang organisée par la Société canadienne du sang a eu lieu. À cette occasion, nous avons eu le plaisir de rencontrer la directrice du développement communautaire de Canadian Blood Services.
Well, first thing, we look at how many people are in the area and if we think we'll have enough people to come out and make donations. So every single event that we set up is because the hospital needs a certain amount of blood at a certain amount of time. So we call that demand. And when we look at demand, we have to look at the supply. So we would look at the supply from that angle. So would the community be able to come out and support and supply the blood that we would then be able to bring to the hospitals? So that's how we first decide where we'll be. And then the logistics is a bigger piece. So we do have a lot of rules and regulations around how we set up clinics and events so that they are good for our staff and good for the donors. So there's a whole rigmarole, but we basically set them up about 18 months in advance so that we're sure that we're able to provide the hospitals with the blood that they need when they need it. This is an important part of the process as well for donors, not only in the preparation of making sure they're well hydrated and that they've had a good meal, but it's also really important to bring your government issued identification. It's one of the things that sometimes people forget or they think because they have it on their phone that's acceptable. It's better that you have it in person, you're able to provide it to Kyle, and this helps with the identification process because in the end your blood product does go to a hospital patient and we need to have a flow and a record of all of that. What's fantastic now is that we have a digital application on the Give Blood app where people are actually able to see their blood type and receive their blood donor card digitally in advance. So if people are able to download the Give Blood app after they've made their donation, they will see a lot of information in advance of receiving their actual card in the mail. Blood.ca is actually an amazing application. So you can download the Give Blood app, where right on the main screen you'll see a section where you can input where you live. So you can put in your postal code, your address, maybe the address of where you work, and it'll show all the events that are within the radius of where you're living or working. So you can pick the one that suits you best and book an appointment to donate there. Basic requirements, 17 years of age is how old you must be to donate. Be in general good health, have a government-issued ID that you're able to bring with you to the donation event. And there are several other eligibility criteria. Some of them are personal and common, and some of them are more personal to you. So we encourage you to go to blood.ca, and there's an eligibility quiz that you can do online. So click through the eligibility quiz, and that will be able to indicate whether or not you need to call our number to speak with a registered nurse to answer more questions, or it might just greenlight you and say you're ready to go to donate. So it's normally about 10 minutes. Sometimes it's a little slower, sometimes it's a little faster. We obviously ask people to hydrate, that helps with things. And also eating salty snacks helps you retain your fluids so that you have a better donation experience. So all of those things together are a combination that make the donation itself very succinct and you have a great experience. And then afterwards, our famous station for recovery, which is where we give you snacks and cookies till your heart's content. No one says no to cookies. And those plasma donations, again, I mentioned over the next several years, we're expected to see demand grow by 50% for plasma. And that's just modernization of, techniques and the use of our products as well as growing. So we're able to provide more healthy opportunities for Canadians, and that does require the plasma product. So Canadian Blood Services is all across Canada except for Quebec. HEMA Quebec maintains that blood system, but everywhere else in Canada, it's Canadian Blood Services. We have permanent centers. So if we're talking about Ottawa, we have one in Orleans at Place Orleans, and then we have another one at 1575 Carling Avenue. So there's two permanent centers open 6 days a week, mornings and evenings and weekends. So those are great places to donate. And then we have these we call our mobile events. So we go around to more rural communities where maybe people would find it too hard to make their way into a permanent center. So we are everywhere from Rockland through to Cornwall, out to Petawawa and Renfrew, and everything in between. So it's just about keeping the conversation going about the need for donations, regular donations, new blood, new plasma. And those conversations just trigger something. Maybe they'll think about donating. Maybe they'll see a commercial, 2 days later, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember talking about that with my friends. I'm going to get out there and do that. So that's how it's going to grow, just by keeping the conversation going. And once you do make those donations, it feels really good. But if someone can't donate, convincing a few extra people to go out and donate on your behalf until 2027, that is like making multiple donations on behalf of you. So thank you for that. And what you guys are doing here today is great as well. Now more than ever, people across Canada are looking for positive ways to show up for each other. Donating blood or plasma is uniquely Canadian. A shared exchange where lives are supported on both sides of the chair with real connection, purpose, and the sense of community. That's why Canadian Blood Service is inviting people from across Canada to fill every donation chair this summer. This is a moment where you can rally together as a nation and for new donors to experience firsthand what you get when you give. Book at blood.ca through the Give Blood app or call 1-888-2-DONATE.